everybody, welcome to the Ronline Report. Today we have, just like I said in the title, the fastest rising star in the Classic Physique Division. I don't know why you're laughing, it's the truth. They
I
call
don't
him
think I'm the fastest.
Tough Diesel, Terrence Ruffin.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Yeah. I don't know if I'm the fastest, but
Who's
get
rising
that.
faster than you? Come on.
I mean, if you think about, I mean, I've been doing this since the beginning, so I don't know if it was a fast rise. I mean,
Well, yeah, you're not an overnight success, but still, I mean,
I guess in
geez,
the past year or so, yeah, it's been pretty quick.
I mean, I just want to start with the Olympia placings because just like when I talked to Clarita, it's inspirational to see how people didn't do that well. Well, you've never been out of the top 10. It's not like you were ever like last place or anything. But your
Yeah,
first Olympia 2016, which was the first year they had the division, ninth place. What were you, like 22 years old then? 21?
22, I believe. Yeah.
Next year you come back, sixth place. Now you're in the top six. Come back in 2018, ninth place again. And then 2019, missing in action. You didn't compete at all in 2019, right?
I didn't compete that season, but I competed that year. I competed in November.
The Niagara show was like December.
Yeah.
So then you come back to Olympia, and good Lord, wow! I mean, you were. I don't want to say you're the surprise of the Olympia. There were a few surprises that weekend for sure, but
Yeah.
man, I mean, it was supposed to be the Breon and Bumstead show.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Just like
was.
the
Yeah.
Mr. Olympia was supposed to be Brandon and Phil Heath, and then no one's like, Ronnie, whatever, Ronnie, it's all right.
Yeah.
Terrence is okay, but it's Bumstead and Breon. But man, yeah, I'm sitting there judging Saturday in that it was in two different theaters. I'm like, I think they're going to put Terrence ahead of Breon the way it was going. So I'll start there. When did you get an idea that maybe you were going to get second, maybe even in the battle for first?
Well, right when I got off stage, my coaches, John and Joe, they were there and they were telling me, man, I think you might be Breon. But, obviously with, coaches, they're always going to have like their favorites. So I didn't really think about it too much. I was like, oh, okay. And then I was walking with Joe down to the expo and I saw Dave Khaled.
Yeah.
And he stops me and he's like, hey, man, you need to go to your room. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I started laughing. I'm like, why? He's like, I was talking to some people and it's like, you're pushing for second place. And he's like, yeah. I was like, okay. So, at that point, I just told Joe, I was like, hey, I'll see you later. I'll check out the expo another day. And I went to my room. So that's when I found out. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I talked to Breon about 10 days ago. And, I was trying to ask him, why do you think Terrence got ahead of you? Because it was 1 point between you two. Very, very close.
Yeah.
He thought it was the back shots. He says you beat him on the back shots, mainly because
that's really nice of him. Yeah.
He gave it. He says, yeah, he beat me on the back shots. I got work to do, and especially the posing. And you're known for being a great posing routine poser, but
Yeah.
I think people underestimate or they don't pay attention to how good you are on the mandatories too, because you opened up the back and you looked wider, whereas Breon crunched.
I did kind of see that.
Yeah, he crunched his shoulders together, and that takes away from your width. And a lot of people also thought he didn't think this was a problem, but I think the way he was banging people with the elbows, I don't know. I think
it's funny. You never know, man. But it's funny. Like you see the new and the older fans. A lot of the newer fans hated it, but people have been doing that since the beginning of bodybuilding. So I don't know how much of an effect that had.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if it was a problem, Weinberger would have really made an issue out of it. He would have yelled at him. He didn't. But man, but props to you because and then at the night show, if I had any doubts that you were in second behind Chris, they were erased at the night show. So once you came on, they did the rejudging. I saw that Breon had faded a little bit. He flattened out a little bit, and you were just as crisp, just as full. And then the routine. This is what I got to ask you. I know that they don't officially judge the routine. They don't.
Yeah.
But man, I mean, in classic physique, I have to think that the routine carries weight and the presentation carries some weight in the judging because that's what your division is supposed to be all about. It's supposed to go back to the old school aesthetics and beautiful physiques and really artful, graceful posing that really moves you. And geez, this is I never thought you would outdo that survivor routine. I thought that was going to you'd be like 40, 50 years old. We'll still be talking about that routine, but yeah, you knocked it out of the park with that final countdown thing. I was like, Holy crap! I don't clap much because I'm sitting there doing my thing. I let everyone around me clap, but I put my phone down for a second. I clap for you because that was freaking awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You know what? I figured. I think so. I got a lot to say because you said a lot too. But one, I talked to Bob. Bob talked to me on Sunday, and from what Bob said, he said, yeah, it came down to the night show. He said, at the night show, I ended up being, like you said, a little bit sharper, and that's what he said. The judges kind of base my higher placement on.
Yeah.
But as for the routine, I figured people would like that. It's nostalgic, I figured it would appeal to like everybody because I think the song choice plays a huge deal because no matter what, people from like that time in the 80s, early 90s, maybe they're just gonna like that because it reminds them of the old school. And it was a kind of a twist, a remix. So I was like, oh, new people might like it too because it's a little different. So yeah.
Who did the cover? Because I know that wasn't Europe.
It's the same. It's the same one that is Survivor. The 2WEI, whoever they are. But no, I do think it. I think it does play a part, some kind, like you said, subconsciously, like the routines. It has to, like, humans are human, so like, it just is what it is. I think it does play a small part.
I mean, if you were sitting down with Jim Mannion and he was asking you for suggestions on what to change about the division or judging or anything, would you bring that up? Like maybe we could judge posing in classic?
Honestly, people always ask me that. It doesn't bother me either way. I mean, obviously it favors me, for that to happen. Um, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it if they wanted to do it. That would be cool. At least I think they should do it at the Arnold. I mean, since they already do bodybuilding, they do
right?
bodybuilding. They do bodybuilding, but not classic.
Oh, really?
Classic doesn't really get a lot of attention at the Arnold. We didn't even get to go to the meet and greet that this past year. Yeah, it was just bodybuilders and like figure, bikini. Bikini they had booths, but not classic.
Well, that's right. Now that I think about it, now that I remember that whole room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Arnold didn't even watch our routines, which really kind of made me sad because that was half the reason I wanted to do that show. Because like, man, if Arnold sees my routine, this is gonna be crazy. Now, I'm not saying like, this year was kind of crazy, so he was running around doing, whatever. So I don't really blame him, but yeah, just kind of disappointing that he couldn't watch.
No, I didn't realize until you said that. I didn't realize that you guys were not at meet and greet. And now that you say that, because that's where we get a lot of interviews for the weekend, and we didn't get any of you guys. Yeah. Come on, Arnold people. Arnold, I know you're listening. Yeah, because I can't. There's not a lot. I don't do the best interviews with like bikini competitors because it's just I don't know a whole lot about it. But as far as at the Arnold, they judge the posing, but is that only for bodybuilding, only for open men?
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous because open men bodybuilders 212, if they have crappy routines, I don't really care. It doesn't bother me. But if I see a classic guy if I see somebody built like you or Breon or Bumstead or Logan or Wesley Vissers or one of these guys and they don't know how to pose, I'm really disappointed because I consider that a huge part of your division, the presentation and the posing.
I think most people do, which is interesting. The thing is, too, with posing routines, it's just as difficult as judging like a fitness routine. Like people are going to have their preferences here and there. And then I think it can be even more of an issue than judging someone's physique, judging their routine, And then you get into the point where you got guys like routines, like let's say, for instance, in bodybuilding, let's say if you saw a routine from like Cedric and a routine from like Freddie Smalls. People love Freddie Smalls' routines. I think he's won a posing like award here and there, but it's completely different. One's just entertainment, one's actual like posing,
Right. Yeah.
So I think it could be a little tough.
I mean, when you pose, you're actually hitting a lot of poses. The style like Fred, and I've seen a lot of other people. It's more dancing. It's fun to watch. Like you said, it's entertaining.
Yeah.
But I like to see people that are, like Kai. Kai hits a lot of poses too. It's not like he's just dancing around and standing on his head. He hits a ton of poses.
Yeah, I agree.
We don't want to talk about posing all day. Let's talk about physique. Now, is your weight cap is 175 for your height, correct?
180, apparently.
Did you get shorter or taller? You got taller.
I got taller, I guess. Yeah. It's been back and forth, but I talked to John Meadows, and we were like, let's just go into a show thinking it's gonna be 180, and if we deal with whatever we deal with when we get to the show.
Huh. So you were prepared to weigh in at 180, and if they measured you a little shorter, you would have had to be 175?
I came into the show thinking I had to be 175, and they measured me at 180. And they've done that maybe twice now. It's been 175 like 2 or 3 times, but it's also been 180 2 or 3 times.
So are you like right on the, what is it? Are you on the cusp between like 5'6" and 5'7" or something?
So at the Arnold, they measure me at 5'4" and 3/4. At the Olympia, they measure me at 5'5" and
You couldn't have gotten that much taller than that.
No idea. Honestly, I think they should just measure us once, and then just like they do with, they keep track of all our shows or whatever, like on NBC News Online, they just put our height on there, and then we can just pull it up like, hey, this is my height. Yeah, but they give us something, yeah.
If anything, you'll eventually, everyone gets shorter. We know this. This is science. But nobody's getting past like 21 years old. No one's getting taller.
Like almost an inch taller, yeah.
Yeah, I know this is like we're going off on a tangent, but I don't understand why. Maybe because some guys would try to cheat and be shorter or taller just so they could get into a certain weight that they wanted to be. That one time that they measured them officially, and then that's where they'd be forever. Because I hear that from so many guys in Classic. I think even Bumstead they measured several different heights at different shows.
Yeah, me and him talked about it too. Yeah, I told him to use his Olympia powers to get it like push through. Yeah.
He's too polite. Canadians are very, very polite. They say pardon and sorry a lot. Pardon, sorry, but okay. Because that was the discussion about you. Is Terrence needs to be a little fuller, a little bigger, just needs a little more arms, whatever. And we didn't know how you were going to accomplish that if you had to come in at the same weight, because it's not like your condition was off. It's not like you had a few pounds of body fat that you really had to play with. So you obviously did make improvements from the last time I saw you, even from the Arnold to the Olympia. I think looks to me like
I would say so. I mean, I would say so just for the simple fact that I came ahead of Alex. Yeah, Alex. I mean, Alex, I would say he was pretty much on par with his Arnold showing. So yeah, that's my only explanation for that, for sure.
Yeah, he didn't look any worse to me. He looked, Neil Hill's a pretty damn good coach. He doesn't bring people in off very often.
Yeah, no.
So yeah, you got ahead of Alex. I mean, dude, second place in the 2 biggest shows in the sport. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. But of course, I know you want that number 1 spot.
Yeah, I want at least one number 1. I was like, man, can't get it.
You got a couple pro wins now, right?
I got a couple pro wins, but I definitely want like a bigger show. Obviously, the biggest show I've done was probably Tampa. I know Toronto's a big show too, but probably Tampa. People would probably put that a little bit higher. If I would have placed 3rd this year at the Olympia, I would have done some bigger shows like I had planned to do, like the Pittsburgh or New York Pro, even the Arnold again to see if I can get a win there. But this year I'm just going to focus on the Olympia.
So I know you had quite a span of time between. So the Arnold was in very early March, and then the Olympia was 9 months later. And you spent a lot of that time training in a storage unit with equipment that you bought yourself. And then when did you finally? At what point out from the Olympia were gyms were open up and you were training normally again?
I was in gyms pretty early because Florida, luckily I live in Florida, and our governor is pretty pro, I guess, freedom or whatever you want to, pro-choice with that type of thing, with facilities opening and what they want to do with restrictions and stuff. So I think maybe it Tops 2 months. I had that storage unit Tops, and things were back open. So was it March, April, May? So probably like late May or early June.
Oh, okay.
I was back in the gym. Yeah.
All right. Did you finally sell all that stuff off?
I got one more piece I gotta sell, and I can stop paying $140 a month for this place. Yeah. Kind of tired of paying it. Yeah.
How many people you think are stuck with all this exercise equipment now?
It's a lot, but there's some people still trying to sell. Like, it took me a while to get off that stuff, and people are really trying to lowball me. So that's what took me a while, because I could have sold it real quick, but people are like trying to pay me like $200 for a seated leg curl, which is like $1,500 to $2,000.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm like, no.
See, if you were trying to sell that back in like April, you could have gotten $40,000 for it.
Yeah, you know what I should have did? As soon as the gyms opened up here, I should have sold it because a lot of places were still closed. I just didn't. I was just a little worried about what was going to happen. But yeah, yeah, it is what it is.
Okay. Well, a lot of people with challenges building arms, they probably want to know your secrets. It's too late. I'm too old, but let's help the other people
Yeah,
out. You did bring up your arms, man. How did you do it?
you know what's funny? I've like I sell programs on my website, and I'll always push my arm stuff. No one wants to buy it, but everyone loves buying my leg programs. They're like, "Oh, the legs." I'm like, "Yo, my legs have always been easy. I think you should want to buy something that took, I actually had to work it to figure out how to grow." But that's just besides the point.
What's
Honestly,
that website? Let's get that website out there.
roughdiesel.com.
Oh, it's all
Yeah,
Rough Diesel. I like it. Okay,
yeah, I
roughdiesel.com.
kept it pretty simple. Yeah. Basically, it's honestly with Joe. I mean, a lot of these guys train the same like Joe, Matt Jansen, Jordan Peters out in UK. It's based on a lot of you can kind of trace it back to like Dorian or Mike Menser or even Arthur Jones, the first dude to kind of do like that hit train. But oh my God, my oven's going off. Can you hear it?
Yeah. Do you need something burning? You need to stop?
No, let me just turn it off. I think I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, go for it.
Sorry, I forgot about this timer. There we go.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Well, while we're listening, guys, go to his website and get the ARM program. Don't be dope.
Yeah.
Don't be such dopes, because that used to get me mad, because like I used to know the late Mike Matarazzo from Boston, best calves of all time. What do you think he did for his calves?
Probably nothing. Walked on a treadmill.
He couldn't even do that. They would get too pumped. He did nothing, and everyone was always coming. Every time I was around him, people would be like, "What's your calf routine, bro? What do you do for calves?" Like, you people are so.
Yeah, and it's funny. I tell people, and I mean, I post like old photos and stuff, and they see my legs have always been, bigger, and they still, I don't know, but but basically, what I did for my arms was, it's really really simple, to be honest with you. The only thing is it just takes a lot of like consistency. So I tracked my workout. I've been doing the same arm workout for the most part for 2 years now. Every now and again I change the exercise here and there, but it's not really changing that much. So let's just go for biceps. This is one exercise I haven't changed at all. I've always started with single arm preacher curls these past few years. Then every now and again we'll change it, but normally like a single arm dumbbell curl or a single arm hammer curl, and then we'll finish with like some type of something that really stretches the biceps, so like a seated incline curl or like cable curl. And so basically, like I said, I'm tracking everything. So every single week I'm trying to progress in some way. And it's kind of get stuff with arms because it's a small muscle, so you can't like throw a 45 on, whatever. Right. So like Joe ended up making these really lightweight. So we got weights that go from like a quarter of a pound, half a pound, 3/4 to an actual pound. So that's how we progressed on that. And it's got like our dumbbells are metal, so like we attach magnets to these weights, and it just slaps on that. Pretty cool. So that's the one thing we did. I was consistent with everything. Another thing is you notice I did a lot of single arm stuff, and that just really allows you to focus in on that one muscle, especially if you have a weakness. A lot of unilateral stuff is probably better for people. Yeah. And then another thing is a lot of stuff is really like I'm like seated, or I'm like using in like a preacher curls. I'm using something like to stabilize, so I'm not moving my shoulder. I'm not. Yeah. Only thing that's working is the bicep. So. Yeah.
Okay. So, all right, guys, for the full routine, the full program, go to roughdiesel.com. And yeah, like I tell people this all the time. Don't look to somebody like a Rolly Winkler. Rolly, sorry, Rolly, but Rolly Winkler wipes his ass and puts an inch on his arm every time.
I watched a couple of videos of Phil interviews here and there. Even Phil says, "Yeah, I don't really train my arms." So people going, "Yeah."
I interviewed Ronnie last week, And, we were talking about Big Ramy probably should lay off his legs a little bit. And he said he used to have to stop training his arms for months at a time because they were growing too much and getting out of control. So don't listen to people like that, guys. Listen, like they see the arm and like, oh my God, what do find somebody that had like a 16-inch arm and turns it into a 17-inch arm. Find somebody who had a 23-inch arm within a year of training. They don't know anything.
Exactly. The fun thing is, like, someone asks you, well, how am I supposed to know that? I'm like, well, you got to do a little research, actually look at, like, learn about bodybuilding, learn about the bodybuilders, like, go back and look, like you said, look at how they used to look. It takes a little bit more effort, but if you think about it, that takes, let's say if you're really digging in, that takes maybe an hour or two. And then, obviously that hour or two is going to be very, very beneficial over the long run, that now what, should I listen to this guy or should I not?
Right. Now you mentioned Arthur Jones, so I don't know if you ever heard this quote. I loved Arthur. I read like almost everything that guy ever wrote. I think he was crazy in a way, but he was brilliant. I never met the guy, but he was cantankerous. He was a cranky old man. But he was talking about genetic freaks, and he said, this is the analogy, don't ask genetic freaks for training advice. They don't know. He said, if you want to know how the horse that won the Kentucky Derby runs so fast, you don't ask the horse. The horse doesn't know. You go to the trainers and all those people, they can tell you. But so like your legs, I got to remember, Breon actually said you beat him on legs too. You inspired him. He's going to bring up his legs for next year because of you.
Oh my God.
So you're down. I think you said in an interview that you just did for your own channel, Rough Diesel on YouTube, you're down to like 3 working sets on leg days.
For my quads, yeah, it's very, very light. Yeah. I just did legs today. So we did, I guess people can get my leg workout now. So basically we started with Romanian deadlifts. Then we did seated leg curls. So a lot of hamstring focus. I think that needs work on my physique. Yeah. From there, we supersetted, and no like quick supersets. Like we just go back and forth. But we supersetted leg extensions with lying leg curls, and I just did one working set on the leg extensions. Like I worked my way up and did one working set, and then we did one working set on hat squats, and then we finished with like 2 sets on what's it called? Bulgarian lunges.
The split squats.
Split squats. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So actually, I guess I did 4. I did 4, 2, 1, 1. Yeah, 4.
And they're not going anywhere. Those quads aren't going anywhere. Yeah.
I've talked about it in 2017, which was my best place, and like you said, well, before this one, I was still in the military, and we were doing all this stuff, and my legs were injured like all year, so I didn't squat over 1 plate that year, and no one said my legs were downsized. No one said anything, and that's when I kind of learned, like, once you have a muscle, it's really pretty easy to maintain it, especially if it's a gifted, like something you're gifted in, you know, for sure.
Oh, I mean, that's the only thing that I'm really gifted in is quads. And when quarantine hit and I had to train at home because our gyms were shut down here for over 3 months, I tried doing legs at home, and after a couple times, like, you know what? Fuck this. Why? All I ever hear is, oh, your quads are this, but your arms suck. So I said, I'm going to just leave my quads alone. And out of curiosity, I measured them before I stopped training them. And almost 3 months later, I measured them again with no training at all. They were down a 1/4 inch. That was it.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah. That's pretty awesome.
Listen, people, I've heard this before, so I'm not the one that came up with this, but your strong points are always going to be strong points. So hammer away. You want to be good. Hammer on those weak points. That's what you should focus on. Yeah. And
I agree. Yeah. I was funny. He's a friend of mine though, but Justin Miller, he has the opposite opinion. He's like, just get your strong points stronger. And I'm like, I get it, but yeah, it's always a cool debate. Like, obviously, I think you want to even a balanced physique, and but you can like reach out to like, oh, look at Tom Platz. He's known for his legs, and just because they were just out of this world freaky. Right. But I remember reading this thing about him. He took he didn't train his legs like for one of the years he competed, and that was his best placing ever. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember because I was a huge Platz fan. I think most people were. He was a cool guy. I remember he went down. He tried to see how infrequently he could get away with training his legs, and he went down to training them once a month. and they
I
were the
heard
same.
that.
Maybe he was doing just quads. I think he was doing hams more often, but quads was just once a month, and yeah, they weren't going anywhere. But I agree with you. If his upper body had looked like his legs, oh my god, jeez,
Yeah.
because that was an era where all the he was trying to win the Olympia when it was all guys under 200
The
pounds.
opposite, yeah. And he had the opposite of the normal physique. You know, most guys have big upper bodies, smaller legs. He just flipped the game on everybody. Yeah.
I mean, it's because if you saw his upper body and you didn't see his legs, you'd be like, wow, this guy's awesome. But then you see the legs, you'd be like, wow, those legs are awesome. His upper body doesn't really match.
Yeah.
He would have been a lot bigger. But so let's get back to second place Olympia. Bumstead, he leveled up. That was not the Chris Bumstead that I knew. It's
Yeah.
like he grew into a man, boy to man, like in 1 year. It was crazy. Huge improvements. So, but you're right there. You're second place. You want to beat this guy. We're in 2021, so it's this year. I keep saying next year, but it's theoretically going to be December in Orlando again, is my guess.
Okay.
What do you need to do to beat this guy? Because I know you want to beat his ass. Come on.
I think honestly, it's the same thing I've always been having to do. Just continue to grow. I still got room to grow and work on my weak points. Like my biggest is I think my arms can get bigger still, and I think the other thing I need to really work on is my hamstrings. Maybe a little bit more upper body in general, but yeah, it's kind of what I've been doing since I started. I mean, my weaknesses are still my same weaknesses. It's just they're just less of a weakness now. So it's just a time thing. Every single show I've been improving, so I just need to keep improving. Yeah.
In your interview that on your channel again, Rough Diesel on YouTube, you were talking about your midsection. You're going to start doing more midsection training too. Is that right?
Yeah. Actually, I've been doing abs every training day, so 4 times a week. I've been doing it. Maybe just one exercise, and yeah, I've been trying to work on that. I've been trying to work on some mobility stuff too, so I can really open up in certain poses and stuff. And yeah, some like side stuff people don't normally talk about. I think
Yeah,
a lot to do with
I want you to get
posing.
into that because that was fascinating to me. That we see you doing all kinds of crazy poses. You'd think you were a very flexible, mobile guy, but you said you're not able to like rotate your arms all the way back in certain poses and stuff.
Yeah. So my lower body's pretty flexible. Like my legs and everything are pretty much good. But like, I've had a light injury to like my psoas. It's like a muscle behind your erectors.
Yep.
So sometimes twisting is tough for me. So doing like those 3/4 shots like Arnold did, those are really hard. And you want it to be easy to get into because when you're on stage, everything's happening. It should be like butter.
Right.
And same thing with the back poses. Just being able to rotate a bit more is always a good thing. So I think, and there's still a real easy way for people to understand how flexibility is important with bodybuilding. Is you think about open bodybuilders and the side tricep. That's probably the hardest pose for a lot of bodybuilders. You see bodybuilders struggling with it all the time.
Yep.
So yeah.
I mean, because you know what it is it's not just the size. A lot of guys get so thick they can't reach over. That's why they do this. They stick the one arm down because they can't reach. Or once hopefully you never get to this point in your life, but when your shoulders are messed up enough with arthritis and everything and rotator, you literally can't reach that arm. You can't.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
So
hopefully it won't ever happen. You'll never understand. It won't happen to you. But
yeah.
I haven't been able to hit that shot in years. Not that I need to, but if I wanted to, I couldn't. But that's cool. What else we got? We'll talk about that. How about your preference for the Olympia? Would you like to see it? I think December's a given. I don't think the date's going to change. We're never going back. But Florida, having it in Florida versus Las Vegas. What are your thoughts on that? Would you like to keep it in Florida?
Yeah, I love it in Florida. I mean, the only reason I wouldn't want it in Florida is because I just like to travel. So going to Vegas is always cool. But obviously, from a competitive standpoint, Orlando's a much better thing. It's an hour and a half drive for me.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's real simple. Like I drove down Friday night around like 8, got in around 9:30, and I was good.
I mean, if you go to Vegas, wouldn't you want to go just on vacation, have a good time, not being there to compete?
Well, I mean, when I compete in most shows, I end up staying a few days after, so I still enjoy. I make it just one big trip. Yeah.
Yeah, I've asked every Olympia competitor this. Once you could eat, once you were free to eat, photo shoots were all done, whatever. What was the one thing
Yeah,
you've really been looking forward to? A restaurant or a certain type of meal or food? What did you get to?
my stuff is boring. I mean, I think I'm one of the few guys that actually my diets. I do a little bit of a flexible diet. Like I'm not eating Snickers and stuff and ice cream, but I think that kind of helps me not have cravings. Like if I want chicken, I'll do chicken. I'll do turkey. I'll do, you know, chicken or turkey normally. Sometimes if I have beef, I'll switch to salmon. So I'm a little bit more flexible with my diet than most, and that kind of keeps me uh, even. But after the first thing I had after the show was pretty boring because at the gala, they don't really have a lot of crazy foods there. I just had pasta and meatballs, and they had like these very tiny uh, red velvet and tiramisu cakes or whatever. They're like that big, and so that's what I had. And then after the photo shoots, I had my mom's cooking.
Okay.
It was because it was Christmas, yeah. So we had stuffing and barbecue chicken, greens, cornbread, potato salad, all that good stuff. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, there's a lot to be said for home cooking because
Oh,
it's
for sure.
there's not as much of
Yeah.
it these days as there used to be back in the old days. Let me tell you. Uh, yeah, I mean, you definitely did not beat George Peterson. So far, he's got the record. He was watching commercials, food TV, and the two pizzas did impress me. There's a Domino's came out with a chicken taco pizza and a cheeseburger pizza.
Chicken taco.
So he ate.
Okay.
I think he ate both of those one night. But this is really impressive. A soft taco supreme from Taco Bell, probably about that big. I'm thinking, right? I mean, he had
Okay.
he had 30 of those at once. 30.
Wow. His toilet probably hated it.
Punished it, man. That's good.
No, I had a pizza. I had some pizza too, because I mean, like one of the days after the show, I had some pizza. I can only do one. I can't eat two pizzas by myself, but I can get one in. 30,
So
30 Taco Bell. I mean,
I challenged him on. I said, "You didn't eat all of them at once." He goes, "Yes, I did." I'm like, "Come on, nobody can do that. Unless somebody, one of those people that eats the hot dogs at the contest or something, maybe they can
yeah,
do it."
yeah. I guarantee you, some bodybuilders should also be competitive eaters because they make pretty good money. Like some of these people, like they like to do these 10K challenges or 10 calorie challenges or whatever. I'm like, just go do a competition and do it, and then they pay them pretty well. They get like 10 grand if they win.
Oh shit, that's
I'm
like
like,
winning a pro show.
yeah, doing in the off season, shit, yeah.
Juan Morello, you're listening? This could be your thing.
I guarantee you, if a bodybuilder did that, I'd be. And then they have a whole second fan base of people like them watching me.
I know so many people I know personally. I hate to use the word eating disorder, but it's in this case, it's kind of accurate because they post clean
Yeah,
food all week long. Here's my broccoli. Here's my this or that. And then on the weekend, they have these stacks of like greasy burgers and fries and cheese melter. I'm like, dude, you got a problem.
yeah.
That's like one extreme to the other. There's like no
Nah, I
no
get it.
moderation. But so what's going on? The Olympia's over. Did you take a little break? Are you back into training now?
I didn't get a break. I mean, my break is probably like it's been go go go, and honestly I needed a break, but right after a week before, I'm a coach pretty much full time. That's where I get most of my income. So um, the Olympia, people think it's just a weekend event, but honestly, like it's like a full week because you got to get there early. You got to pack up, get everything there. Like you have to be there like Thursday, so you have to get there on Wednesday. The show doesn't really end on Saturday because on Sunday I had the superstar seminar. I had photo shoots. I had photo shoots on Monday,
Yeah.
and then after that, family's in town, so I'm hosting them in my place, and that was I enjoyed them, but that's still not like resting after the show because you got to be up asking doing stuff with them,
Right.
and then after that, you get the influx of clients, that see you compete and they want to sign up at that point. So
Hmm.
doing all that, getting caught up with works with them, with assistant clients, it just was a lot. So finally, I'm kind of getting things are kind of slowing down. I'm kind of caught up with work. Uh, yeah, it's just a lot.
Do you do now? You're well known. You have the rough and ready posing. That's your posing coaching. Is that most of your coaching, or you do a lot of prep, regular prep too?
Most of my stuff is regular prep. I don't do a lot of posing coaching anymore.
Huh.
Yeah. So I do most of my stuff through actual like diets and stuff like that,
Okay.
and
Where are these people
I enjoy
competing?
that.
Yeah.
They
What shows are
compete.
still going on?
Oh well, I mean, not everyone competes. A lot of my clients, honestly, are just general population people. I would say maybe Gen Pop takes. mm, I never really thought about it. I say it might be 60% or Gen Pop for other 40% of people that compete for
Okay.
my clients. I think. Yeah.
Call them general population. You don't call them civilians because you're a retired Air Force.
Civilians. Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
call them. No, the technical term is they're lifestyle clients.
Our lifestyle. Yeah.
They're not interesting in they don't want to get up in the sparkly thong like everybody else. But okay, well that's it's good to be busy because man, there's a lot of people out
Oh,
there
for
not been
sure.
busy. They have not been busy
No,
since COVID hit. So
definitely not complaining. Like, yeah, this year, I mean, obviously for a lot of people, it was tough. I'm blessed enough to actually a lot actually good happened this year. I got a new and better place. Paid off my desk, got a new car, some new sponsorships, a lot of good stuff. I did take a hit when COVID first happened, but you just kind of regroup and reformat, and things kind of ended up, going really well.
yeah, tell us a little. Talk to me a little bit about Steel Supplements, Jason's company. How long you been with them now?
Oh man, I got with them during the 2019. Yeah, I was. They came. They took me in when I was not competing much, not posting much because everything was. I took a year off from competing. Matt had just passed away, and I had kind of fell off a little bit, and like Jason's awesome, man. It's all I've been blessed to be with companies that have had bodybuilders like with Matt, with Jason, and Jason really understood. He really set me up really well. He gave me more than what I asked for.
Oh,
Cause
wow.
I'm pretty like rational with like, okay, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm doing. And he's like, nah, man, here, take this, or here, like, we're gonna give you this. I'm like, okay. And nah, it's been great. And with his brother Paul, he does a lot of the edits, the video edits that I post up, and
Oh,
that's
okay.
always awesome, man. His
Oh,
videos,
that's Jason's brother.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
those really cool videos that yeah, he honestly he should do more video and more content like that, because I would say he's probably like the best video guy in bodybuilding.
Dude, I have to tell everyone right now to go to Rough Diesel channel when you're done watching this. You did it's like a music video to oh, what was the song? Gangsta's
It's a
Paradise.
paradise,
And it
yeah,
looked like I don't know where you set that up. It was like a studio with like a stage setting and lights
yeah.
and that was legit, man. That was cool.
Yo, it's funny. I man, I had that idea to do content like that for years. I just couldn't find the right guy to help me get it done, and it just kind of worked out. I found Paul, and we did that in the Steel warehouse. They got
Oh,
my open lot, and he bought those. Each one of those lights cost like $1,000. So like
yeah, they
he,
look like it looks like it's a real music video. It's legitimate music video quality. Very
that's what I want to do more of. It was really hard though. Like it took for that 2 minute video. It took maybe me actually posing for 4 hours
cool.
because he's got to get different angles and different stuff.
Yeah.
And it took me maybe 2 hours to come up with the routine, and then him maybe 2 days to kind of edit everything together. Um, but man, yeah, after I did that routine, I was beat up. Like my body was sore as shit,
Oh
but
man.
it was worth it. Yeah, I think the only bad thing is with hopefully I get to a point where I'm kind of like Danny Hester, where I'm just lean all year round, but I still got to grow, so I kind of got to put on the body fat a little bit more. But
Well,
one
I
day
don't
I'll reach my limit.
I don't know how well you know Danny. I've known Danny for almost 30 years. I think actually it is 30 years now. Shit. He's always been like that. I've never seen him put on more than like 5 pounds extra ever.
It's pretty crazy,
Because
yeah.
he was naturally a thin. He was a thin kid when he started. Very high
Yeah.
metabolism. Yeah, I remember him competing at like 145, 150 pounds when I first met him. Yeah,
Wow.
he was always
So I
lean.
mean, that's how I kind of want to, how I want to be, just because what I envision myself doing is more stuff like that, more frequently. Because now we've only done two. We only do like one app one. We've done one we done one last year and one this year,
Yep.
and I definitely want to do more of that, but I got to be lean to do that type of stuff. So, yeah.
So, are we ever going to see that one on stage? Well, you'll probably guest pose to it, but will you compete with that routine, you think?
No, I don't like to redo routine. The only routine I'm probably gonna redo maybe next year will be Survivor, since I'm so much bigger. Yeah, everyone wants me to do that one again because my physique looks a lot different than back in 2018.
Yeah.
So people wanted me to do it literally like last year. I was like, man, it's only been 2 years. Let me get a couple more years in between.
It was a great,
But yeah,
it was a great mix and everything. It was just everything was just, I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you. I don't want to make it sound like, oh, you're never going to be any better than that. But that was just like a perfect routine. It was, every pose, everything was just like, everyone was like in awe when that ended. It was Toronto. Was that the first time you did it? Yeah, I remember when it was over. It was like almost silence for a minute, and then it was like, everyone was like, "Oh my god, what did I just see?" Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, I remember it was pretty cool, and that's when people really started to notice, like, oh, this man's posing is pretty good, so pretty awesome.
Well, up until that point, I don't think I even knew who the hell you were, but I knew who you were then. I ran right up to you, and you're there with your mom. I'm like, "Who are you? Let's get your number, and we gotta get you. You're gonna be awesome, kid." And sure enough, here we are. Yeah, seems like about 1,000,000 years ago now, doesn't it? COVID time. Anyways, you've been very kind with your time, Terrence. It's a Friday. You probably got to go out and be a young guy. No,
I got more work to do. Yeah,
don't live like that, man. So I want to encourage everyone to check out his Instagram, Ruff _Diesel. Go to YouTube, his channel, awesome content by Jason Hughes' younger brother. Apparently, Paul did not know that. Last thing I'll ask you: favorite 3 steel supplements.
My favorite 3: Anabolic is great, Hyper Aid, and those 2 are intra workouts. I'm a huge fan of intra workouts coming from John Meadows. He's really in there. So those 2, and I think the one that people can benefit the most from would probably be just the proteins. Nothing crazy. Yeah, they got a lot of different options. So if some guys have get really bad gas from like whey, so they got a vegan one that actually the only one I've had that tastes good. So check those out.
Do they have some crazy protein powder flavor that you're in love with? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, they came out with 3.
So
some of the new ones they got blueberry muffin, cookies and cream, butter pecan. It's like a praline thing, yeah. And banana pancake. So those are like the new flavors they just came out with.
Okay, yeah, I mentioned that because we're all into these crazy flavors because chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry gets old quick.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh god, cookies and cream.
Yeah.
Terrence,
so they got a couple options there.
Congratulations, man! 2020 was a big step up for you, and I don't see you going down. I see you going up and up and up from here. You're getting better. You're still a young guy. Best is yet to come. And I hate when people get mad at me, but you are the best poser in the sport right now. A couple people have taken exceptions to that. They go, I'm pretty good too. I'm like, you're good. You're good.
Who said that?
It was Breon. He just I think he thought I was putting his posing down. He's a very good poser.
No, Breon's great. Yeah.
You're just, you're just a little level above everyone else right now. Maybe someone's going to come along next year and be better than you. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah. I don't take offense to that stuff. I think with posing, man, it's all preference. So if someone likes someone else better, that's fine. It doesn't bother me.
You don't dance, so there's probably a lot of people that like Fred Smalls can dance way better than you on stage. Yeah.
And I'm like, all right.
Totally different styles. All right. Yeah. Well, Terrence, again, thank you so much. Appreciate you taking the time. Looking forward to what you have in store for us. We're not going to see you on stage again, I guess, till December, unfortunately.
But, some guest posings here and there. I got 2 already lined up. And if things open up, I'll maybe in Australia, Korea, France, London, and Denmark. Wow. If things open up, guys. So we'll see.
Everybody take your vaccine like a good boy and girl, and we can open up the door.
Yeah.
I didn't just say that, did I? Okay. All right. Look at all the hate in the comments below. Get your microchip put in, guys.
Yeah.
The government can keep track of you, know what you're up to. Anyway, all right, man. Thank you so much, Terrence. Everybody, thanks for watching Ronline Report with Rough Diesel, Terrence Ruffin. We'll see you next time.